Do you know that in the 1920s, Henry Ford decided that, you know what, let me own every supply chain for the car parts I need, because he had one of the biggest automobile industries. And one of the supply chain that was very important to him was rubber, because of course, cars needed tires and tires need rubber to make them. Welcome to the 1% where we learn something about everything. Rubber, which is gotten from the sap of rubber trees, was only gotten naturally, like grown in the wild. And one place where it grew in abundance was in the Amazon region of South America. So it became a Brazilian monopoly, not until it was some of the seeds of these rubber trees were stolen and smuggled out by a British entrepreneur. The British had almost a monopoly on this rubber, and Henry Ford did not want to deal with that. So he said, okay, why not create my own, supply chain of this rubber from start to finish? So what came to his mind was to get a piece of land in the Amazon region. But he made costly mistakes along the way. So one of his first mistakes was hiring a native instead of a professional to scout for a land where he can build, this supply chain. So this native scouted a region that was very rocky and not really fertile. But you know what? He was a billionaire. So what did he do? He bought about 10,000 acres of land. And before you know it, bulldozers arrived and the construction began. The next mistake he made was hiring his own engineers to do the planting instead of trained horticulturists or botanists, to do their work. Because he felt like if these people could excel at engineering, what is a little planting that they cannot do? These engineers planted these rubber trees together, which was one of the first mistakes you could make in this place where they grew natively. Because due to the natural enemies of this rubber tree, in the wild, they grow very far apart in order to reduce the amount of predation caused by their natural enemies such as caterpillars, red spiders, ants, and the most important, South American leaf blight. The next mistake he made was trying to force his own customs on the locals. So the locals, they're used to walking before the hot sun and walking after the hot sun. But he implemented this American 9 to 5 lifestyle. And also, these locals, they were used to drinking alcohol. Alcohol was strictly banned. And they had to eat American food, partake in American poetry and lifestyle. So after a year, the locals could not take it anymore and they rioted. After 3 years, Ford sat down and looked at all that has been going on, and he saw that it was not his expectation. So he now did what he should have done from the beginning. He started to hire experts. But yet, 10 years after hiring experts and they moved to a better land and did all they could do, they could only produce 750 tons. And guess how much they were expected to produce? 40,000 tons. So they were nowhere near the expectation. The final nail in the coffin was the development of synthetic rubber. In total, they lost about $20 million at that time. That is like 10 times what they would have lost maybe in this time also. It was a complete and utter financial disaster.